Peace, y'all. Today we'll be talking about a little bit about the ancestors today and the wisdom I obtained over the course of my study and my research, my due diligence. I do this out of respect of my ancestors. Know thyself. Without much being said, let's get into it, y'all. So the Great Sphinx, right? The Great Sphinx. Many historians believe the Great Sphinx was a man, and not only did they think it was a man, they claimed it as being a white man. But the depiction of the Great Sphinx was engraved by Vivant Denon, however you say this guy name, in 1798. Doesn't really describe any destruction, as you can see today is very destroyed to the Sphinx nose or the mouth, which is very noteworthy, right? If you didn't know, Arabs and whites were the one who blew the nose off the Sphinx, and not to mention the fact that the Great Sphinx was a black woman. The following is Dinan's actual statements from the published narrative of the Sphinx. Though its proportions are colossal, the outline is pure and graceful. The expression of the head is mild, gracious, and tranquil. The character is African. Need I say any more? The character is African. Denon, yo, look this up. This is a white guy. Vivant Denon. However, Vivant Denon. Need I say any more? Listen, the character is African. This is his words, bro. This is more proof that they are afraid that if the ordinary African American discovers their actual ancestors, all other races will perish and will take the earth over once again. But they don't want that, so they keep you locked up, dumbed down, and silent. They keep you very dumbed down. Now, this is the actual Great Sphinx. Now, if this was actually y'all, who y'all say it was, why are y'all doing stuff like this? We just asking questions. That's it. We just asking a little bit of questions. You know, we're just curious. We're just curious. You know what I mean? We just curious and shit like that. If this was actually y'all, why stuff like this happening? Because it's not y'all. Stop the cap. Stop the cap, bro. Stop the cap. The Great Sphinx Part 2. In late 1782, a French philosopher and historian embarked on a voyage to the east, arriving in Egypt in 1787. After a roughly 7-month stay, he considered that Egyptians were to be black Africans, a viewpoint that differs significantly from that of other Europeans at the time. He had this to say about the Egyptians. All the Egyptians have a bloated face, puffed up eyes, flat nose, thick lips. In a word, in a word, in a word, the true face of the mulatto. If y'all know, a mulatto is a mix of like black and white. I was tempted to attribute it to the climate, but when I visited the Sphinx, its appearance gave me the key to the riddle. On seeing that need, typically Negro in all its features, I remember the remarkable passage where Herodotus says, however you say this guy's name, I've been butchering these names. As for me, I judge however you said it, to be a colony of the Egyptians because, like them, they are black with woolly hair. In other words, the ancient Egyptians were true Negroes of the same type as native-born Africans. That being so, we can see how their blood, mixed for several centuries with that of the Greeks and the Romans, must have lost the intensity of its original color, while retaining, nonetheless, the imprint of its original mold. Just think that this race of black men today, our slave and the subject of our scorn, is the very race to which we own our arts, sciences, and even the use of speech. It's the very race to which we owe our art, sciences, and even the use of speech. It's the very race of which we owe our art, sciences, and even the use of speech. Need I say any more? This is a white guy saying this stuff. Y'all can look this guy name, however you say this, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't even feel like, I'm tired. I don't even feel like using the brain cells to try to pronounce this nigga name. Right? Just imagine finally that it is the midst of people who call themselves the greatest friends of liberty and humanity that one has arrived the most barbarous slavery, and question whether black men have the same kind of intelligence as whites. Basically just said that blacks are smarter, way smarter. Hey man, we created the fucking pyramids and they got us to think that we're worth less than this and this and that and brain fucked us to the point that it's like, it's so sophisticated to like how the fuck we even fall this low in frequency. It's kind of mind boggling. And so, as y'all can see, they're basically saying that we mixed and we lost our blackness, right? Original color. You know, all the raping and whatever the fuck, you know, the other white folks do. So, images of the Sphinx over the years. As you guys can see, it started like this. What they think, you know what I'm saying? Now, 1615 is missing the nose all of a sudden. Now, 1653, what does this look like? 1698, what does this look like? That looked like a man. 1743, what does this look like? If y'all didn't know, also ancient Egypt were ruled by the females. That's how the royalty was passed on. They believed in that because the female is the sacred feminine divinity, right? She's where a lot of the wisdom it comes from the woman. She's female, and also she's the portal from the physical and the spiritual realm. Okay, the ancient commoners broadcasted who they were to the world by the Sphinx. The African kingdoms portrayed black Africans migrated from there. So as you can see, bro, yes, it's the same thing. They cut off the nose and fucked up the lips for a reason. They try to claim this and that. Try to claim that the Great Sphinx had a beard. And they tried to claim that the Great Sphinx had a beard and it fell off due to erosion, but the Great Sphinx indeed was a black woman. But they try to make it look like it was a man. Why is it? Because they're patriots. Okay? Just even look at the beard. Where would it go? Nowhere on the fucking Sphinx because there's no beard. Stop lying. You motherfuckers just lie. To get to the point that we don't know who the fuck we are and we gotta race a group of people that don't know who they are. And we got youngins like me, old souls, that gotta sit, inform, and give insight. Okay? So, yeah, man. Remember who you are. Let me see. I'm gonna do that another day. But yeah, remember who you are. This was about the Great Sphinx. Black female, black queen, black goddess. Listen, they girl every time they have you, they gonna sit here and try to lie about your greatness, about your power, about your wisdom, about your strength. And they're gonna dumb it down to you so you can forget who you are. But I'm doing stuff like this so you can remember who you are, remember who you are, remember who you are. Because when we remember who we are, we unlock certain strands of DNA predicated upon a certain information we get access to. You know what I mean? And they're gonna use everything in their power to try to make you forget, to try to keep you distracted, to try to keep you away from that. But when you know who you are, when you know your journey, you locked in with self, there's no changing that. It's no taking you away. You know what I mean? So it's just as far as you being who you are and you walking in that and you being proud about that, because a lot of females know who they are, but they can't walk around with their chest out as that. They know who they are in the back of their mind, then they walk out in the chest projecting a black female and not a young goddess that they are. You know what I mean? They're projecting wigs, weaves, and a rigid way of thinking instead of who they truly are. Right? Don't be that, sis. And we gotta remember who we are because stuff like this happen. They do stuff like this. You see this nose, so that you could forget. With that being said, I love y'all. Always do your own due diligence. These quotes and stuff, what I was mentioning, y'all can look up this guy. Don't just believe what I'm saying. Look up this guy and see who he is for himself. Just his name. My shit is lagging. This is his name right here. I don't know what's going on. This is his name. Oh shit. This is his name, Vivant Dinan, however you say that. I think I'm butchering it. I really don't care.